A 7.5 magnitude earthquake has authorities scrambling to put out fires, help the wounded, and keep the peace. Residents are encouraged to evacuate their homes for safety.
I'm headed to my meetup location. I need to meet up with my wife. If I can't make it to my meetup spot tonight, ideally what I'm looking for is something like this, where I can have a little bit of, protection from everybody seeing me.
What is up, guys? This is Ben from Blade HQ. Today I'm here with Dan from the Daily Prep, and we are doing a mock bug out.
All right, guys, so a bug out is a situation where there's been a disaster and you have to actually bug out or get out of your house and your surroundings. Kind of getting out of the armchair and really practicing what you preach is kind of where you win or lose in survival. Nothing in there but a bunch of big gulps. The good thing about having a meetup spot ahead of time is that none of that deciding has to happen in the moment. There's a lot of overlap between urban survival and homelessness, I think. And I think that homeless people are some of the best urban survivalists that there are. However, I think that there's some differences. With urban survival, you really are, in most cases, trying to get somewhere. You're not planning on just indefinitely sleeping underneath a bridge and, eating food out of the garbage can. Ah, now this is perfect. This is what I looked in 7 trash cans to find and couldn't. I think trash day was today. Kind of out of luck on the cardboard here. If it does come to the fact that I have to sleep on the ground tonight, I want to at least have some kind of cushion between me and, oh man, tons of bottles in here. Not too much cardboard, just little stuff. It doesn't make that much noise. This particular knife may not be a good EDC choice for a lot of people because it is a larger knife. It's 5.6 ounces. It's got a wider profile, and it's a big boy. So as far as an EDC goes, it might not be the best EDC for some people, but I like carrying something that I can just really rely on and really beat into the ground. So like I mentioned, it does have that combo edge blade, which is really nice. It also has a pretty cool thumb ramp right here, so you can really get down and do some detail work. If I were to use the tip portion of this blade right here, that would come in super handy just to really put a lot of fine pressure on that. But then I like how it has the serrations in the back. It's got those teeth that just do an awesome job of cutting. Again, this is one of those things that's not great for a knife, and then the cardboard thing is terrible for it, but it's just super like butter just going through that. I'm not going to chop up my bed right now, but this guy is really, really good for that. I do also like how it's got this kind of wider belly right here. It's a really good working knife. As far as like the tip, it's got this kind of spear tip, so it's not a like Tonto urban survival knife maybe in that regard. But I think if I were to stab somebody with it, I'm willing to bet it would still go in. Another thing that I really love about the zero tolerance knives is they have the speed safe assisted spring opening. So nice. You don't have to worry about getting, I mean, you can flick a knife out with a thumb stud easy enough, but when you have a speed safe assist like that, it's just really, really convenient. You don't have to get your fingers in the way. So right now I'm looking for somewhere where I can safely bed down for the night. I don't want to be right in the middle of everyone, so I'm trying to find some protection kind of from eyeballs. All right, so these are bad signs right here. This, the mattress over there, these are all signs that this is somebody else's spot. Not something that I really want to mess with in the middle of the night. I'm actually going to use this to make what's called a hobo stove. Okay, so now that I have the Coke can cut a little bit down to size, I have something that I can place my little cook pot on top of. And I'm going to fill this up with some tinder that will burn, nice and low, so that I don't have to have a big giant fire that everybody can see or that is going to be dangerous. take some shavings off of this. I really like this this plain edge up here at the top. It's perfect for this kind of stuff. Really fine detail work. And I love this thumb ramp right here too. Super, super small shavings. And this is after it's taken quite a pounding cutting through an aluminum can. I usually carry a couple of these suckers. You can tell this one's been used before. But basically, pretty much most people have probably set these before. You put peanut butter on the pan right there, you engage the trap, and then the way that I use it is I actually nail it up on a tree. So I use it to catch squirrels. This is just a no-frills way to hopefully catch some game. So I'm gonna try to get down to something a little bit smoother here. This bark makes it so that I can't quite nail the trap in as good. Oh, look at this guy, like a champ, like a fixed blade. Okay, that might be good. Look at this, like butter. Sorry, I love you. I know you're a $140 knife, but I gotta eat. So when I don't have a hammer, you can use the end of that. You can see it's taking a little bit of abuse there. I love these scales, by the way. These are G10 scales. I know I'm going hard on them, but... Okay, so one other thing that I'm gonna do with this hobo stove here before we put it into action is I'm gonna give it some breather holes. So near the top, it's kind of hard to do because this aluminum here is so flimsy, but near the top I'm going to puncture some holes so that the flame has a way of getting out and kind of, there we go. Oh, shoot, that's a big hole. There we go. And you want to be really careful anytime that you're doing something like this because aluminum is pretty sharp. So you got the knife and the aluminum edge to worry about. I decided instead of using the tinder, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to use some really, really flammable hand sanitizer. Just a smaller, cleaner way to go, I think, for the fire that we need right now. So, there we go. And it is lit, even though you can't see it. Make sure, hold on, let me make sure that it's got enough air. I don't want it to go out. I think it might have gone out. So I gotta make sure that the fire has enough air because when I put my little cooker pot on top, it effectively smothers out everything that could get in from the top. All right, let's try this again. There we go. It's not working too great right now, huh? Oh yeah, that's burning. I tried a couple times in vain with, we tried to get it going here with the soda can, just the aluminum. And you can see that it's very, very like flimsy. Obviously the aluminum is a lot thinner. It's a much more pliable material, so it wasn't quite holding up to the weight of the can on top of it. And then the other thing is, with aluminum, it's very hard because it is so flimsy. It's hard to get those air holes big enough so that you have a lot of air coming through without really compromising the structure of it. So I went ahead, I used my soup can to kind of double as as a second hobo stove here. It's working a little bit better with the larger holes in the tin cans. Definitely see some of the abuse that this guy has taken. A lot of little nicks out of there with the tin can cutting and all. Hey, before there was tin snips, there was knives, right? So the stove doesn't seem to be getting enough air because whenever it'll light good, but then whenever I put the cook pot on top, it just goes out, it gets smothered out. So I'm trying to really make some good air holes at the bottom for some ventilation. So those triangular cuts there I was talking about, Just do a couple of those and really, really let some air in, and we'll see if we can get it to work. Really explore the studio space here. And I think we're underway here. It's burning, at least for the moment, so. Alrighty. Whew. Good to go, man. Little hobo stove fire and a can of soup. Never did me wrong. Mmm. Yum. Campbell's never tasted so good. Alright, so the sun has gone down. I'm not going anywhere. This is home, guys. Welcome to my living room for the night. I have my cardboard here, which really is not going to add a lot of softness because of this awesome grass that I found. However, it does add a little bit of insulation. The ground gets coldest, and any space you can put between yourself and the ground is made up in body heat. So I am probably still going to have that. And then I'm going to go with kind of a two-part shelter tonight. I'm not going to do anything as far as like construct anything, but I'm gonna sleep actually in this Mylar emergency survival sleeping bag. It's not the blanket, it's the bag, so it's a lot warmer. It encloses around your body and really keeps all the heat in there. And then for my outer layer, because it does look like it might rain, I'm gonna have this second survival blanket, tarp kind of. And it's also a survival blanket. You'll see that it's reflective here on the inside. So it does do a little bit of body heating, but I'm primarily going to use it tonight as another layer to keep the wetness off if it does start raining. So I'm going to go with that, and then I'm going to actually kind of cut some of this tall grass and just lay it over the top of me so that I'm even a little bit more hidden. Got a lot of people walking around. A lot of people have seen us out here today, so I want to make sure that I'm just as hidden as possible. I don't want any kind of like run-ins or, you know, less confrontation the better. This is the machete version of the Zero Tolerance 350. This is my pillow right here. It's nice and soft, kind of.
I'm about to leave Dan for the night. I'm gonna come pick him up in the morning. He's the real deal, guys. Hardcore, check him out. Right in there.
See ya.
All right, guys, I am on my way to go pick up Dan from the daily prep. He spent the night. I went home, because that's how I roll. But I'm pretty excited to see how he did last night.
What's up, guys? Doing a little early morning reading here. Some Cody Lundeen. Last night was pretty good. I knocked out probably about 10 o'clock. Slept like a baby. The one bummer is that emergency survival sleeping bag like this traps all the air and everything around your body, which contains wetness in it. So when the temperature drops, it condenses on the inside of the Mylar sleeping bag. So essentially, you wake up with a lot of condensation and wetness inside of you. There's a few things you can do. I slipped off my socks because your feet, as you walk around, there's little bits of sweat building up on the inside of your socks, and I don't want to deal with the added coldness of damp socks on my feet, so I took those off. Alien toes. Another thing that I think was a smashing success, my earplugs. Whenever you're gonna shelter in the city, there's a lot of noise. Negative. Came up empty. My philosophy is that a knife is like a truck. I mean, you want it to look pretty, but really it's got to get the job done more than anything. So, you know, it feels like the plane edge is definitely in need of some sharpening, but I'm still getting some really thin cuts on it, which is nice. It feels like I still have a long way to go before it's gonna stop cutting for me. Getting some good feathers on there. So So you can see here along the blade just all the little dings and nicks and stuff that I've put in there. There's one. There's a big one. The blade has taken some serious abuse. It's probably going to need to be reground. Same thing on the other side. You can see one right up there at the tip. All that stabbing that I did in those tin cans. But even so, I feel like it held up better than I was expecting for the amount of abuse I put it through.